Hey, it's your coach, Laurie McNaughton, coming to you again with another short video to help you maximize the potential of your success, not just in your business or your organization, but your life as well. I'm just going to share some of the learnings that I've had over the past, oh gosh, it's probably too long to, to say. Um, but I remember a long time ago, I heard one of the people that I listened to, and there's a lot of people that I've listened to, and I believe it might have been Harvacker that said 80% of success comes from mental toughness, meaning that 80% of your success is not so much about what you do, but what goes on between your ears. And over those years, studying how to, be the best I can be and help others become the best that they can be, and learning to understand how the brain works, how the mind works. And I say that separately because, and you've heard me say this in other videos, the brain is this 3.5 pound gray gelatinous matter that is 75% water and 80 million neural connections or neurons. And the mind is something that is our consciousness that operates within that brain. So I guess the first thing I want to just talk about here briefly is Tony Robbins at one of the conferences that I went to. I believe it was Master University in Maui. And he said, basically, stand guard to the entrance of your mind. And in other words, watch what you let go into your mind. And many of you who struggle, or maybe have stress gets away on you, or you're unfocused, or your habits get the best of you, or doing things that don't necessarily help move you forward in your personal success, your business success, or your organizational success, is this constant mind chatter that goes on just below the surface. So if you look at it, approximately 5% of your, if I could call it your mind or your consciousness, is the conscious part of your brain, meaning that part that's engaged right here in this very present moment. 95% of your brain is below the surface, the unconscious part of your brain. And if you're really going to change, if you're really going to change your habits or way of doing things, is you need to get down into the program and reprogram your subconscious, because you can say consciously all you want, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to eat healthy, or I'm going to work out, or I'm going to read, or I'm going to study more, or I'm going to learn what I need to learn in order to make my business and or organization run more effectively. You can say that till the cows come home, but if your subconscious mind is, saying, oh, you know what, there's a football game on TV, or, you've tried this before, it doesn't work, or, I'll do it tomorrow. All of that stuff is below in the subconscious mind. And the only way that I know personally how you can reprogram and by going into the program, I mean going into your subconscious, is through meditation or self-awareness, being aware of what's happening right here, right now, and in this very moment. And it's interesting because I meditate almost every day, if not every day. There are days that I miss if I'm traveling or I'm doing something like that. Sometimes I do miss, although even at that time I'll try to squeeze in a quick meditation. But typically I try to meditate every day for around an hour. And it's just interesting to me that, because when I'm meditating, I'm working on staying present in the present moment. And yet it's just amazing all of the different thoughts that roll into my head from things that I saw in a movie 40 years ago, or something somebody said to me, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, or, thinking about something that's going to may or may not happen in the future. And so I meditate daily, first of all, to manage not so much stress, because I believe stress is good for us, because the right amount of stress anyway pushes us to do better and be better. It gets unhealthy when it gets into the sort of anxiety stage where it becomes difficult to focus, becomes difficult to find your way out of problems. And so this is why I started meditating. I've been meditating probably for 20 years, but I've been really meditating every day for the past 5 years or so. And I've just found it to be so incredibly helpful in keeping if I could call it, the anxiety at bay, and keeping the stress levels low enough so that I can think my way through anything. And I believe, I heard this a long time ago, if there's a problem, there's a solution. If there's no solution, it's no problem. And I believe that I can work through any challenge or problem that comes up in my life. And I've done that for business owners over the past couple of decades, working closely with them one-on-one, as well as working with them in teams. And I always encourage every client that I work with, let's get your team involved, because it just makes it so much easier for you when you've got all of these people who are working together towards a common goal. Something that I heard, I've heard it many times recently, but I heard this from Deepak Chopra, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. He said, we have approximately 80,000 thoughts every single day of our life. And you might go, who counted those thoughts? You don't really need to. All you need to do is, get quiet for a minute, and you'll realize just how many thoughts are going through your mind, and then extrapolate that over all the time that you're awake. The challenge or the disconcerting part about these 80,000 thoughts is they're the same thoughts that you had, yesterday, you had today, and the same thoughts that you had a week ago, you had this week, and the same thoughts that you had a month ago that you've had this again, which makes it very challenging to move forward. Which, if you don't change the way that you think, if you don't, when I say, there's a difference between what I'd call thinking and thought, because to me, I would say thoughts are these random things that just roll through your head that really don't make any sense at all. And then again, if you go into meditation, you'll soon find out how random the thoughts can be. So when I say the difference between thinking and thought is if you ask yourself a question, then you go into thinking about something, consciously thinking your way through the process and challenge. So, what's possible if I was to solve this problem? What resources do I have, or what resources do I need to have in order to get to where I want to be? Who do I need to help? Who can I get to help? What are the things that would help me get to where I want to be? When you ask yourself really good questions, then you get good answers. If you ask yourself, and Tony Robbins said this at one of the courses or conferences that I was at with him, is, if you ask dumb questions, you're going to get an answer for it. So if you ask the question, why does this always have to happen to me? Guess what? Your brain is going to come up with an answer, and it's not going to be an answer that's supportive of you. And so, a lot of my message today around this idea that we have all of this random thinking and it's not really helping us is to get control of those thoughts. And I do it through meditation, mindfulness. I think this is, in my experience, probably the only thing that really works, is to get mindful. And I do that personally through meditation. Mindfulness can be sitting in a room and being mindful of everything that's around you. So instead of just randomly thinking about thoughts that are floating around as you look, oh, there's a picture of my uncle, there's a picture of my nephew, a picture of my niece, oh, there's a certificate that I have from a course that I took, oh, there's some hand sanitizer, there's a picture of me from when I was in my 20s. When you're doing that, you're in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, that's where creation happens. Because here's the thing, if you're one of these people who is always awfulizing, or another word for that would be worrying about something in the future, it's pulling your energy. So your attention goes and your energy goes to where your attention is, so that all your energy is going to that. Or if you're one of these people who is always, ruminating on past failures, or, things that people had said to you in the past that were negative, again, where you put your attention is where that energy flows. And there's nothing creative going on in the past or the future. The future isn't here. It may or may not even happen. Frankly, I mean, not theoretically, but possibly. This is going to sound a little bit silly, but I think there's a life lesson in this, is that I literally could exhale a breath and fall over dead right now. So the future is not guaranteed to anybody. And the past is the past. There's a great book called The Untethered Soul, Tethered Soul or Untethered Mind. Look it up. Mark Singer, and in chapter 17, he talks about the valuable lessons that death gives us. And really, it's a beautifully written chapter. I think everybody should buy the book just to read that one chapter. And basically what he says is that it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're young or whether you're really old or you're middle-aged or whatever, you never know when you're going to exhale your last breath and die. And so if that's the case, and if you knew that this was going to be your last week or last month, how would you want to live that last week or last month? Would you want to live it, ruminating over past failures or worrying about a future that's not going to happen? So getting away from the negative thinking that goes on in our subconscious mind, and the only way to do that is by consciously going at it, if I could call it that. If you find yourself, and the best thing to do is you'll feel it typically before you really understand that you're thinking something negative. At least for myself, the way I experience it is I'll feel something in my solar plexus, a negative feeling, and then when I feel that, I know that I'm thinking about something that's not positive, whether it's I'm thinking about something in the event in the future, again, that may or may not happen, or I'm ruminating over something that happened in my past, and I'll just say stop, change, and I'm going to get present just in that moment, and I'm going to stay in that moment for as long as I can until I can sort of start to feel this feeling to go away, and then I'll just say, listen, I am really great at everything that I've ever done in my life. I'm a success at everything that I've ever done. How do I know that? Because I'm here. I'm sitting right here, right now, talking to you. I've been successful at everything. I'm bigger than any problem that I've ever had in my entire life. Again, the proof is because any problem that I've ever had, I am sitting right here because I've overcome it. So, and I just heard this the other day, and I think it's maybe a good piece of information for you to think about as well, is that this guy said that you could have 5 positive thoughts and 5 negative thoughts. Which one is going to be more powerful? In his estimation, from what he talked about, the 5 negative thoughts are going to be way more powerful. And I think most of you can relate to that, because literally, how many of you have had an experience where you've had a beautiful day happen to you, whatever happened, whether it's in business or meetings that you had, or, things that you did with your family, and one thing didn't go the way you wanted it to. Where are you spending your time thinking? Are you thinking about all those great things that happened? Or are you thinking about that one thing that messed up? In my coaching calls with every client, I start off the conversation with wins, and I say, listen, it's exactly what I mentioned to you guys here today, is like, we focus on what we screw up, and we don't pat ourselves in the back often enough for when we do something that's really, really good. So you got to get out of this negative mindset, and the only way to do that is by being conscious about it. Again, if you feel it, then you're thinking about something negative. Start talking about the things that you've done really well in your life. If you don't have a vision board, create one. Put things on the board of things that you've done really well, has succeeded at. I think about the amazing things that I've been able to accomplish in my life, and I'm blown away by those things. I was one of these guys who was paralyzed by the fear, or paralyzed by the anxiety, not the fear, because it's the anxiety of speaking in a group of people. And in fact, when I was in my early 20s, I was at a sales training course, and the guy said, stand up and say your name and where you work and how long you've been selling cars. That's what I was doing at the time. And they started over on the other side of the room. There's 30 people in the room. Well, I spent the whole time going through there thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to forget my name. People are going to think I'm whatever. Put the adjective in or noun or whatever. And then I got to my name, and I said, my name's Laurie McNaught, and I worked at Parkland Chrysler, and I've been selling cars for 6 months. And I sat down and I said, why did I put myself through so much torture for something that was so easy? And then fast forward, I just, one day I was at another sales training course with a guy at, I can't remember if it was Grant McEwen or Nate, doesn't really matter. It was an evening course. And the guy said, if you're serious about being a professional salesperson, you need to go to Toastmasters. And so I went to Toastmasters, and I was in Toastmasters for 10 years, greatest experience I ever had. You're going to learn that, you're not going to die giving presentations. And in fact, I was at a conference in Atlanta, Georgia. No, someplace in Georgia. Sorry, it just popped out of my mind. I don't think it was Atlanta. In fact, it was Savannah, Georgia. Sorry. In Savannah, Georgia, and I spoke to 450 people. And I couldn't have been more proud of myself, because even though I was feeling all the butterflies and a little bit of, maybe a tiny bit of anxiousness prior to the event, I knocked it out of the park and got a standing ovation. So, don't get caught up too much thinking about the future. I mean, you've got to create a clear picture of what you want to have in your life. And I don't mean toys, things, stuff like that doesn't make you happy. Accomplishments, serving other people, helping other people, all of those things create happiness for you. And when you're sitting here thinking about, worst case scenarios, oh, what happens if I can't do this, or what I can't do that, if I mess up this or I mess up that, or you're thinking about mistakes you made in the past, or what did that person mean by when they said that, or maybe you lost some money in a business deal, or something happened in the past, and you're either there or there. You've got no time for the future, and you're getting burned out. And this is why so many small business owners get burned out, is because that's where they live, is in the past and in the future. You've got to create this space where you get into the present moment, and that's where creation happens. That's where the best ideas comes from. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting in meditating, and I'm going, oh man, and this is kind of a double-edged sword, because I'm trying to stay in the present moment, and I'm thinking, oh, this would work perfect. I got to try this. I got to do this. So sometimes when I'm doing, I will set aside a time to get quiet, not what I'd call, Tom Bailu, I think his name is, Impact, I forget what he calls his company, but he does a podcast, and he called it thinkutation, which is to get yourself in a quiet state of mind, and these great ideas come. So success is 80%. This little bit of gray matter that resides between your head. And inside that gray matter is all these neurons, and some of those neurons are connected. I talk about neuroscience a lot in my work. Some of those neurons are connected, and they don't say kind things about you. They don't say, you're awesome at everything you do. Everything you always do always succeeds. Why are you such a buffoon? How could you be such an idiot and make a mistake like that? That kind of self-talk pulls you out of the present moment and pulls you in a place where you can't be creative about success. So with my clients, when I'm working with them, one of the things and this is partly why coaching works so well, is because in that time that I spend with them, they're very focused in on that moment. And we talk about strategies, ideas, concepts, that will help them move not only their business forward, but their lives forward in a healthy, happy manner. So I think I went a little longer than I intended to, but I want to share as much valuable information that I've learned over a lifetime that will help you do the same, and help you have a more creative, more happy, and again, happiness is the key here. there's this is doesn't seem sensible to some people, but money does not buy happiness. And I always say this: if you're happy, money will come to you. Happiness, the happier you are, the easier life is. Um, so, um, butt out those negative thoughts, replace them with positive thoughts, create yourself a vision board, or you can go online and to a company called Mind Movies and create a mind movie. I have a mind movie I play 2, 3, 4 times a day. It takes a couple minutes. It just reminds me of things that are important to me and important about me, because I understand, if I want to have a healthy, happy, successful, wealthy life, it starts all in that order. If you're not healthy, it's pretty hard to be happy. If you're not happy, who cares if you're rich? And if you're not happy and you're rich, you're not successful in my mind. And I know plenty of rich people. I've worked with rich people who it's like, please help me understand. You drive fancy cars, you got a beautiful home, you can take any vacations you want, you got a wife and family, and yet you're unhappy. And that's because it goes back to what I talked about, too much thinking about in the future or past mistakes. Let the past mistakes go. Create a perfect picture of what a beautiful life looks like for you, and then create that and make that happen for you. Thanks for listening. I know that was a long video, but I think I just wanted to express that. So again, my name is Laurie McNaughton. I have a company called TPQ Business Academy where I work with small and medium-sized businesses. I also am a partner in Envision Group, where we work with larger 100 million, 200, 500 billion dollar companies on communication and leadership, strategic planning, business development, that sort of thing. So if you want to reach out to me and find out what it would be like to work with me, just go to lauriemcnaughton.com and you'll see on the front page of my website, there's a link to my calendar. You can book, it's just a 15-minute call. I want to make sure, because as business owners, as entrepreneurs, the time is our most valuable asset. I don't want to waste 1 minute of your time, and I certainly don't want to waste any of my time. So if I can't help you, I'll hopefully steer you in the right direction where you can find the help you're looking for. And if I can help you, I believe I can help you, then we'll book a longer conversation and we'll dive deeper into the challenges that you're facing. Think about from the perspective of cause and effect. So what's the cause? The effect is I'm unhappy with whatever in my business, in my life, in whatever, and let's look at the cause, and then we'll put together a plan to work through and solve the causes and move you into a place that you want to be in your business and in your life. So again, lauriemcnaughton.com. Book yourself a 15-minute discovery meeting. I look forward to the opportunity of speaking with you and the opportunity of being of service to you. Thanks again for listening, and stick around because I'll be posting videos from time to time on different aspects of business. Thanks. Bye.